Hey, it's Jono. I'm back. I wanted to go into a situation that a lot of people go through when it comes to the, I guess, we go into the 2017 MacBook Pro. Now, from 2017 on, the previous gen, right before that one, the Mac Pro had a mag lock. It was basically the ability to it would magnetically charge with the power cord. So on the end of the cord, it had the ability to snap into the side of the computer, and then it would go to the power brick, and then boom, you'd have the ability to charge the Mac magnetic and power at the same time. It didn't have data, it was only power. But since the introduction to USB-C, Macs have traded off that great feature for the ability to have higher connectability with Thunderbolt 3. Now, USB-C is Thunderbolt 3. Okay, so it just depends on the transfer rate. So there's two different transfer rates. You can have the lower bandwidth one, which is just USB 3.0 over USB-C, and then they have the Thunderbolt transfer rate, which is something ridiculous, something like I think it's like 2400 meg or whatever. I don't know the exact speed, but it's just a higher speed. They traded having just a one power port, and on the smaller Macs there's only one USB-C port, which is basically they're just making sure that all universally they want to use this USB-C port now, Thunderbolt 3. So it can use for power, it could be used for docks. I have a docking station for my MacBook Pro, and on the Pro you're able to use one of four ports. You can charge on any one of these. There's no difference in terms of which port you could use. So I know I'm going around here, but the point I'm trying to make is this is an actual port and it's a plug. So you have to plug it in here and then eventually get it into the Mac, which is basically right here. You have to now use this to plug it in. Now there's no way to, I mean, it'll fly out. If you want to pull it out, it'll come right out. But if you are in a certain position, it could yank the port, it could mess it up. I haven't messed it up because I don't have a habit of using my Mac on the go with this setup, and I'm going to show you what I do when I'm on the go, or if I'm in a setting where people are around me and my cords could get tugged at. I'm going to show you exactly what I do. So this is the standard setup. This is what you get in the box. You get the power cord, you get the USB-C cable, which you can use for data or power, and then you get the Mac. Okay, so I'm going to unplug this, and I'm going to show you what I do. You actually can get the mag back, but you got to do it a certain kind of way. There is USB-C cords you can get that are proprietary, and the proprietary cords that you can get are basically, you have to check the wattage. You have to make sure that the wattage is correct. USB-C for your phone is going to be a smaller wattage than it would be for your laptop. So there are USB-C PD, which is basically power delivery. The standard for the MacBook Pro, you have to get a 85 watt transfer rate in order to be able to charge through any accessory cable. So what I found on Amazon was this, a retractable USB-C cable. So now you don't have that ugly white cable that is, you can mess it up, it gets frayed. I know a lot of people, they get the frayed cable because they have to constantly wrap it, unwrap it. Well, this is a good solution to fixing that problem. So it'll actually give you the ability to have a retractable cable, and then, as you can see here, it connects to the standard connection. So you have now a good replacement for your power brick and your MacBook Pro. So this is basically a much thinner cable, smaller and compact, and then when it's time to wrap it up, just basically retract the cable. But I took it a step further. Now, there's a couple things you got to remember. I learned that when you're dealing with magnetic connections, you need to make sure you have a very loose cable, because the sturdier the cable, then the magnetic connection will have a problem connecting and staying connected, because this cable would be too sturdy it would move. You have to have some dexterity to the cable, and I noticed the retractable cables have dexterity to them. They're a little flimsy, but they're flexible, so they're not cheap, but at the same time they do the job of actually connecting properly. And I'm going to show you this. Now, I found 85 watt USB PD magnetic ends. So this is basically what the end looks like. This is the end you put on the cable itself, and then this is the end you stick inside the female end of any USB connection. So one's going to go here, and then one's going to go inside the Mac. Okay, and it's pretty flush. If you look at it, it's pretty flush. That's what you want. The earlier versions of this, like the Griffin, it was like a huge dongle, but the advances have been, you know, pretty significant in this particular connection, where you can actually get a magnetic connection again with the Mac. So I hope I can show you this properly here. So when I plug this in the wall now, you'll get an 85 watt connection, and it will actually charge the Mac. So I'm going to take the ends and put it on here. Okay, the ends will be placed on each end of these cables, and now watch this. Boom. Boom. So now you have a magnetic connection now for your MacBook Pro, and if there's a problem, you can, it's all breakaway. See? So now you got your mag connection again for the Mac. So I'm going to do this again, and it breaks away basically. It's breakaway, just like the old way. And I have it on both ends. You don't have to do both ends, but like I said, if you don't find a cable that has the dexterity of this, what happens is, I'll show you what happens with the OEM cable. It doesn't stay as easily. I'm going to use the original cable. This is a much more sturdier cable. And notice what good condition my cable's in, because I don't use this cable that often. I use it really on the go. And I'm not on the go that often with this setup, to the point where I have to do a full setup that I'm going to leave in a remote place. So this is really for like a remote setup that I'm going to leave up for a while. Okay, so now I'm going to show you what it looks like on the original OEM cable, and I'll show you exactly why the magnetic doesn't really work with this type of cable. This port's a little loose. I'm going to put it in this one over here. Okay, so I'm going to show you here. This is the original OEM cable. Now, when you do the magnetic here, what happens is the weight of this cable makes it very easy for it to come off the connection. You need something that's a little bit more flexible. That's why I use this very thin wire, but it holds the charge, and it will definitely do PD properly on the Mac. So basically, I don't use this because of the weight of the cable. Okay, so we're gonna put this one back, and the best way to disconnect this is to take it out sideways. Don't pull it straight out. If you pull it straight out, it'll pull the dongle out of the computer. Okay, so let's put that back on the ends here, and you'll see this is a lot easier here. See, it holds the connection a lot easier. It doesn't move around that easy. It doesn't come off that easy. And you can basically just plug this into a brick, into your power strip. This that extends pretty lengthy. This pulls out about 3 feet. You know, it's pretty long. Okay, so now how do you take it a little further? I'm going to show you now that you don't just need your power brick. Because you've done this, you can do a little more. And get your MacBook to have even more battery life. This will do about, I'm gonna say, you know, they say 8 hours. That's BS to me. I'm gonna say it'll give me, because I'm doing DJ or software, and I'm definitely using a lot of the CPU. I'm gonna say this will last me about 3 hours on battery on its own, and I need more time than that. Sometimes I'm on deck, so about maybe 8 hours. So I'll start maybe 7:30, and I gotta go to maybe 1:30 in the morning, 2:30, shut down. You know, it's basically not gonna last me that whole time. So, and I don't have the convenience of being near actual power when I'm doing some of the gigs that I'm doing. So I'm gonna show you what I do next. So there's a battery, you know, I've tried several batteries. This is an old Anker Astro Pro. This does not have the right connection. If you plug USB-A to USB-C, you will not get the right wattage it takes to power a MacBook Pro. So I went through a few of these to try and see which one would work. This does not work, and this, I spent a lot of money on this back in the day, and now the battery itself doesn't even work that great. So I don't recommend this battery at all. It's got a few ports on it, which I like, but like I said, it went dead on me. I don't know what actually zapped it, but this was only good for maybe 2 amp connections, like for a phone or a headset or something like that. This was good to get multiple things on at the same time. It would do an iPad, you know, or it would do a tablet or something like that. It was, you know, basically good for mobile devices, not for a big computer like this. And like I said, I have several of these setups, and I tried to find the best USB-C setup, and I came across the Zero Lemon. This is an awesome battery. This battery is like when I'm doing my bike riding, you got literally 4 ports on here, two amps, and then two 1 amps. And then you also have USB-C and a micro USB connection. So you have plenty of ways to charge this and charge other things. And it lasts a long time. I think this is like 20,000 milliamps. But it does not, I tried to plug this into here. It does not do, it will not charge a MacBook Pro, especially to the point where I can use it while I have it on. And that's going to be important. The next battery I bought was this one here. This is the Q, what is this? 38,000 milliamps. I mean, this should have did it. This should have did it. I mean, look at that. USB-C. It's got 2 regular USB-A's, but it's got USB-C directly out. So I should have been able to get my was it? I think it's if I'm not mistaken, it's 18 volts. It should have been 18 volts or 19 volts. So the Mac needs about 19 volts. This couldn't even put out enough to charge the MacBook. It wouldn't even charge it while it was off. So having it on was not working, and I needed at least 100 watts. I mean, 85 to 100 watts is what Mac requires, you know, up to 100, but it'll take 85 to charge it and have it on, and it won't use the battery while it's on. This, no way near. I don't even know what wattage it was. It just wasn't enough. And I was very disappointed because this battery was expensive. This was like $60 when most batteries like $20, whatever. So I think this was more, actually. I think this was like $100, and I was like very disappointed with it. The next one I tried, I got it right. Rav Power makes a 20,000 milliamp battery. This is, I don't know, a work of art. It's got Type C, and then it's got delivery output that goes upwards into 15 volts. The 15 volts is what you need minimum for this particular MacBook to run. And what I noticed is it will charge the battery. It will charge the battery and keep the computer on, and I can get 2 hours out of this. I can get 2 hours out of this connected to here. So when I'm on the go, I still don't want to have this magnetic problem where this people will knock out my connection. So what I do is I plug this right into the battery now. Like I said, use this flexible cable. Now watch what happens. I basically have this cable here, that there, and boom. I'm actually charging the laptop wirelessly. And you just heard the Mac come on. It's actually charging the Mac right now. Now I've got two of these. I got two of these batteries. I'll do both these batteries 3 hours, 3 hours, and another 3 hours here, and I got my 9 hours on battery using the significant use of the CPU. And I'm doing pretty much a lot of activities on here, searching for music, keeping the screen. I don't have it on full brightness. I have it on maybe half brightness, but it definitely does a job. Well, I hope this helps you in terms of improving on the MacBook Pro setup, especially when it comes to being on the go and having to be on battery for a long amount of time. USB-C is a very tricky area sometimes, and I hope this makes things a little bit easier in regards to your choices when it comes to doing the MacBook. Thank you very much.